What's up everybody, it's Rowan Gaming here. So I'm probably gonna have to be a little bit careful again with what I say in this video because, you know, for some reason there's this thing about when you talk about diversity or social justice or anything like that, that you're always gonna for some reason upset certain types of people. No matter what your stance on the whole matter is, basically, you're always gonna get some of those people in the other camp, basically, who take it very deeply to the heart, don't agree with you at all, and then they start just being very disrespectful at you, start calling you names, all that type of stuff. I hope that we can simply have, you know, a good discussion about this in the comments that is most of all also respectful. That would be awesome to see. So definitely make sure, of course, to share your thoughts with me in the comments too, but keep it respectful and let's just simply discuss about this with each other, yeah, in a normal way, right? I think that would be awesome to see. Now, what the video is basically about is Neil Druckmann, who's been tweeting some pretty interesting things. He got very upset in particular with a certain comment he got, and basically this all leads into the React channel. Yes, the people that actually claimed the reaction keyword or whatever a couple years ago, maybe one or two, that had that whole controversy, but they seem to still be doing well. People have forgotten about it, but right now that React channel is currently doing like a Last of Us Left Behind playthrough series or something like that, where they show the reactions of people. And Neil Druckmann watched this and pretty much tweeted out, yeah, one part of that series, and that he was really enjoying it. So what he tweeted was, "This made me smile. Teens or adults react to The Last of Us Left Behind." Includes a little picture of some, you know, people looking at one of those scenes, the scenes where Ellie kisses Riley, of course, which was in itself already quite controversial and Left Behind. And then with a link for people to check it out. Now, most of the responses to that are always positive, of course, because, you know, we all know that Neil Druckmann is a very vocal person who does not hide that he's very pro-diversity and he likes, you know, social justice and everything like that, and he puts that in his games. We all kind of know that. So, you know, in a way, like, a lot of people reacted very positively to this and were fine with him sharing that. At the same time, you had some people being pretty vocal that they did not like, you know, that he actually was sharing this video with his followers. So one guy in particular replied, and I'm gonna just quickly read it. You can see his name also in the picture. He replied, "I'm also highly against the promotion of gays. Being LGBT, sorry, is not something to be proud of, let alone given any merit in a video game." Now, Neil Druckmann saw this response, of course, and decided to pretty much reply to it in a very open public tweet. And what he said is that for each one of these bigoted and sad posts, I get thousands of positive ones from amazing fans. Both kinds inspire greater diversity in our games. So yeah, clearly Neil Druckmann, you know, took it very deeply to the heart as well. Tweeted about this. Now, the responses to this were once again very interesting because some people, yeah, obviously being very against what the guy said there. Other people, you know, being very disrespectful again and stuff like that. It basically became a whole shitstorm, right? I kind of want to just share my thoughts on this, you know, in this video. I think I've already pretty much made a video very similar to this in the past, where I kind of said, you know, how I feel about this. I'm very much pro individual freedom, right? And I think everybody is pretty much allowed to be whoever they want to be. I mean, if I can be a straight male with a certain religion, then why can someone else not decide to be, you know, like you know, why can he not decide to be gay, or why can he not decide to be, you know, of any different type of sexuality with a different religion than someone else does, right? I mean, if you want to enjoy your own freedom and be able to be who you want to be, why can someone else not be who they want to be, as long as they don't bother, you know, other people with that necessarily, right? So in that way, I think that when you see a tweet like this from this certain guy that was tweeting about being LGBT is not something to be proud of, let alone given any merit in a video game, that's flat out disrespectful and discriminating. I think you're basically telling someone else that they can be who they want to be, and I think that's totally, you know, I have no respect for that. I think you're totally in the wrong when you have those type of thoughts. And that way, you know, I've said that before, I agree with Neil Druckmann on the fact that, yeah, he is totally allowed to do whatever he wants to do with his games. If he wants to promote diversity in his games, then that's his choice, and he's totally, you know, yeah, it's fine for him to do that. It's fine if Naughty Dog agrees with it, to put these different type of characters in it. Now, at the same time, right, I will say there is also still something to be said for the other camp, and I'm not just gonna full on agree with everything that's happening on the left side of things, right? And I think basically basically, when you've got people that don't like diversity in video games, that don't like the whole social justice war that's going on basically right now, you can also divide those in different type of groups of people. You've got the people in this tweet who are very disrespectful, who do discriminate, who are in the wrong in my opinion. At the same time, you've simply also got people who are fine with it, just like hopefully you and me, right? And who do think people are able to do whatever they want to do, but they just don't like that it's pushed so much in video games or in movies, or they just don't think it's necessary, right? And there is, like I said, there is something to be said for that, because basically, imagine it this way, like if you've been confronted with religion all your life, but then you've decided, after many years that, well, you ultimately don't believe in God, you're an atheist, yet somebody keeps shoving that Bible in your face, telling you you're a sinner or something like that, or he's constantly just confronting you with religion and stuff. Ultimately, that's gonna make you angry, right? And I think that's something that also is happening with some people out there nowadays, is that they just think that in too many games at the moment, people are trying to push in minority groups or certain religions or sexualities or something just to shove it in your face like that. And yeah, I will say for Naughty Dog games, I really don't think it's done like that poorly at all. In my personal opinion, the way they did it with Ellie and maybe with Bill, where they kind of hinted towards it in The Last of Us, was done very well, and not to the point where it felt annoying in any way, in my opinion. A lot of people have been complaining about Nadine Ross in Uncharted 4 and the whole feminism movement there by making that character so strong and making her able to beat up, Drake and Sam in the game. But I didn't have a problem with that either, because I felt like the context was very well explained. Nadine Ross was a military person who's had military training her whole life, right? While at the same time, Nathan Drake just came pretty much out of retirement, had been out of the job for 3 years or something like that. Sam Drake had been in prison for 15 years. So in a way, I thought it was it was at least believable that she could beat up Drake and Sam in a fight, and ultimately she did lose in that second fight as well, because they had her at gunpoint at the end of the confrontation. So I really don't have too much of a problem with the way Naughty Dog tackles these things in video games. And whether I agree with the push for greater diversity and stuff in games, I don't really know personally. I mean, once again, I think everybody is free to do whatever they want to do. If Naughty Dog wants to push diversity in games and people of different sexualities or religions or something, then that's totally their choice, right? Now, at the same time, you can kind of ask the question: are we not already living in a society nowadays where many people already accept that people are different, and that you have this, very small group, I'm talking about a couple of % of people maybe, that are discriminating and that write the type of tweets that this original guy did here, but can they really still be convinced, and are you going to be able to make them think differently about it by putting this in video games? I personally don't know about that. So I would like to know your thoughts in the comments on this. I think there's really something to be said for both sides, but at the same time, yeah, the most important thing really, in my opinion, is that you accept and that you are fine with other people being who they want to be, right? So with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments, like I said, and then for now, thanks a lot for watching, and hope to see you again next time.